Let's take a look at the kings in the Bible, the story of Solomon and David. Let's start with the story of David and Bathsheba. David, a king after God's own heart, led Israel to numerous victories. However, one hot afternoon, while the rest of his army was away at war, David found himself unable to sleep. He decided to take a walk on the rooftop of his palace. Looking over a nearby wall, David saw something that made his heart skip a beat. It was Bathsheba, Uriah's wife, and one of his most loyal soldiers. Hold on a second. King David shouldn't be looking at another man's wife like that. It is a big no-no in the Bible, right? But what happens if temptation strikes? Can you resist it? Leave a comment below to tell us about a time when you faced temptation and overcame it. Please remember to subscribe if you have not already. King David, overcome by desire, sent for Bathsheba. He brought her to the palace. David, blinded by his lust, broke God's commandments and committed adultery with Bathsheba. However, the consequences of sin are always swift. Bathsheba soon realized she was pregnant. Oh no, this is not good. David is in a real mess right now. What is he going to do? Have you ever made a poor decision that you deeply regretted? How did you handle the consequences? Share your stories in the comments section. David panicked. He couldn't risk the scandal. Uriah, Bathsheba's husband, was a war hero, and the people adored him. So David hatched a terrible plan. He recalled Uriah from the battlefield and tried to convince him to spend the night with Bathsheba. Uriah, a man of duty, refused. He would not abandon his fellow soldiers while still fighting. David became frustrated. He devised a more sinister plan. He sent Uriah back to the front lines, placing him at the forefront of the most dangerous battle. David's plan worked tragically. Uriah was killed in the battle, along with many other brave soldiers. The news of Uriah's death reached Jerusalem, and the city fell silent. David thought he had gotten away with his sin, but God would not let it stand. The prophet Nathan, known for his wisdom and courage, arrived at the palace. He told the king that he had a story for him. Nathan stated his story. In a certain town, there lived two men. One was wealthy, with large flocks of sheep and cattle. The other was poor, with only one small lamb. Nathan continued the story, weaving a tale of injustice and the rich man's cruelty towards the poor man's precious lamb. David is so furious. That rich man deserves to die. A heavy silence settled upon the throne room as David listened intently to Nathan's parable. The prophet's voice, though, carried an undeniable weight. Nathan continued. This rich man, consumed by greed, stole the poor man's only possession, the lamb he cherished like a daughter. The king frowned and said, "Such an act is abhorrent. The rich man must face a just punishment." "Yes, your majesty," said Nathan. "The penalty for such a transgression is fourfold restitution." David's face revealed a hint of unease. He sensed there was a deeper meaning beneath Nathan's seemingly straightforward narrative. David cleared his throat and said, "A most appropriate punishment. Tell me, Nathan, what happened to the rich man?" Nathan said, "Your Majesty, you are the rich man in my story." The revelation hit David like a bolt of lightning. The painstakingly built mask of normalcy fell apart. The weight of his transgressions, the adultery with Bathsheba, and the callous manipulation of Uriah came crashing down upon him. Nathan told the king that you have stolen Uriah's wife, Bathsheba, and condemned him to die. Your Majesty, you have committed adultery and murder. The air in the throne room crackled with tension. David, the once mighty king, was now a broken man facing the harsh reality of his sin. The weight of God's displeasure hung heavy in the air. In the comments, share a time when you faced a difficult decision. Did you choose the righteous path, or did you succumb to temptation? Have you not subscribed to the channel yet? Kindly do so as we continue the story. The weight of Nathan's words pressed hard on David's soul. The king, once a beacon of righteousness, was now consumed by guilt and remorse. Tears streamed down his face. He poured out his heart to God in a desperate plea for forgiveness. David's anguished cries echoed the words of Psalm 51. "Have mercy on me, O God, according to your unfailing love. According to your great compassion, blot out my transgressions. Wash away all my iniquity and cleanse me from my sin. For I know my transgressions, and my sin is always before me. Deeply moved by David's genuine repentance, Nathan offered a glimmer of hope. Though the consequences of his actions would be severe, God in his infinite mercy offered a path to redemption. Nathan, voice filled with empathy, said, "The Lord has heard your prayer, David. You will not die. However, the sword will never depart from your house because you have brought shame on me by taking the wife of Uriah the Hittite." David said, "I accept your judgment, Nathan. I have sinned against the Lord." The consequences, as prophesied by Nathan, were swift and devastating. Nathan went home. The Lord struck the child that Uriah's wife had borne for David, and he became very sick. David begged God for the boy. He fasted and spent the night sleeping on the ground. The senior servants of his house approached him to lift him up off the ground, but he refused, and he wouldn't eat with them either. On the seventh day, the child died. Then David comforted his wife Bathsheba. He went to her and had sex with her. She gave birth to a son and named him Solomon. The Lord loved him and sent word by the prophet Nathan to name him Jedediah because of the Lord's grace. The story of Solomon. The legendary Israelite warrior king, King David, was burdened by his advanced age. Battles and the burden of leadership had left etched lines on his face and a sluggish step. His advisors gathered by his bedside, their expressions reflecting the king's fading strength. David's legacy was undeniable. He had united the tribes of Israel, expanded the kingdom's borders, and led his people to victory on numerous occasions. But as his time came to an end, a critical question arose. Who would inherit the throne? David had several sons, each with their own goals and dreams. Some, such as Adonijah, the eldest, saw the crown as their birthright. Others, such as Solomon, were recognized for their quiet wisdom and piety. However, no one appeared to be fully prepared for the enormous responsibility of leading Israel. David, a man who had always walked closely with God, directed his prayers upward. He knew God would select the proper heir, the one destined for the throne. Meanwhile, whispers and plots circulated within the palace walls. Adonijah, fueled by ambition, saw his opportunity. He threw a lavish feast, inviting all the influential figures in the kingdom, except for Solomon. Wait, are you new here? If so, subscribe and like for more awesome Bible adventures every week. All right, let's get this story rolling. Bathsheba, Solomon's mother, a woman of great wisdom and unwavering loyalty, foresaw the impending storm. When she learned of Adonijah's plot, she knew immediate action was required. With the kingdom's future hanging in the balance, she devised a strategy with Nathan the prophet, the king's trusted advisor. David, despite his deteriorating health, remained determined. He summoned the remaining strength, guided by God's will, to declare Solomon as his successor. Solomon was anointed king in a solemn ceremony in front of Israel's assembled masses. Cheers erupted, a wave of relief washing over the people. A new chapter unfolded in the story of Israel. The kingdom looked forward to a bright future under the leadership of Solomon, a young man known for his wisdom and piety. But before Solomon could truly step into his role, his leadership would be tested in an unexpected way. Did you know that King Solomon was once regarded as the wisest man who ever lived? They claim he can solve any problem, no matter how difficult. To see how wise he is, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. News of Solomon's ascension spread rapidly throughout the kingdom. People rejoiced, looking forward to a new era of peace and prosperity under a wise and just leader. Despite the festivities, a brewing conflict threatened to cast a pall over the young king's reign. There was two women, both claiming to be the mother of the same child, appeared before the newly crowned King Solomon. The situation was tense, with accusations flying. Each woman swore she was the rightful mother, and their pleas echoed throughout the royal court. This was no ordinary dispute. The fate of a child was in the balance. Court officials, who were used to battles and land disputes, were at a loss. This was a matter of the heart, a test of truth that demanded wisdom beyond their years. Everyone focused on the young king. The Israelites held their breath. their faith in Solomon's growing reputation for wisdom weighing heavily in the air. Will the new king rise to the occasion? Or will this seemingly simple case undermine his newfound authority? Let's see how Solomon uses his incredible wisdom to solve this baffling case. Will he be able to discern the truth and reunite the rightful mother with her child? Hit that like button to let me know you're excited, and don't forget to subscribe for more. Solomon, ever the pragmatist, knew that a traditional trial would not be sufficient. He needed a way to reveal the truth hidden within the hearts of these women. The court fell silent as a soldier entered, carrying a gleaming sword. A gasp rippled through the crowd. Solomon announced a shocking solution in a calm yet firm tone. He announced that the child would be cut in half, with each woman receiving a portion. Shock erupted throughout the courtroom. Surely the king could not be serious. However, as the soldier raised the sword, a dramatic change occurred. The woman who had been calm throughout the ordeal spoke up. Tears streamed down her face as she begged Solomon to spare the child. "Please, Your Majesty, give the child to her. Even if I can't have him, don't let him be harmed." A sense of understanding washed over the court. In that moment of selfless love, the true mother revealed herself. Solomon, his eyes gleaming with newfound respect, declared her the proper guardian. Solomon's unconventional solution struck a chord with the entire kingdom. He had not only saved a child, but he had also demonstrated a profound understanding of a mother's love, a love that went beyond even the most primal desires. The news of Solomon's brilliant judgment spread quickly. People admired his wisdom and ability to see through deception and reveal the truth. This was only the start for the young king. His reign, characterized by wisdom, justice, and prosperity, would become legendary. However, Solomon's reign was not solely focused on resolving legal disputes. The Bible tells us he had let's just say a very large family. Some say he had 700 wives and 300 concubines. Can you imagine keeping track of that many birthday presents? That is all for today. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe for more great Bible stories every week. Hit the like button and tell me what other stories you would like to see next. Until next time, remain blessed.